Good morning, River Park Church. It's about 7:30 this morning. You can see the sun is just barely starting to come up behind me. And I'm thinking about the victims and the families of the earthquake in Syria and in Turkey. It sometimes helps me to think, or when I'm thinking about other people or other parts of the world, I like to wonder what's going on there. And so I checked this morning, and if it's 7:30 here, it's 5:30 p.m. there. So they're coming to the end of another day. I read on the news this morning that over 11,000 people are either dead or presumed dead because they're missing. It's a lot. Sometimes it's easy for us to feel like the world is spinning out of control. We might look to God if we come to Him in prayer and say, how long is this going to continue? Aren't you going to do something? We might paraphrase the words of the men on the road to Emmaus and say, we had hoped that something different would happen. We had hoped that Jesus, that God was going to redeem our world. But now we see another tragedy. What do you do when our world, or when your world, your personal life, and the people you care about seems to spin out of control? These are complicated and difficult questions, not just intellectually, but also in our experience. They're difficult questions that even if there is an answer, and I think there are good answers for some of them, some intellectual answers anyway, we long for an answer that feels right, that puts our hearts at ease, that gives us comfort and hope for the future. I want to invite you to reflect today and spend some time with God again. After the service on Sunday, a friend said to me, you pointed out a couple temptations, but why didn't you point out the temptation to do nothing and just ask God to provide everything I needed in my life? My response to him was that tends not to be the tendency of people at River Park Church. And because of limited time and space, I couldn't say everything. In these kind of situations, however, I wonder if that isn't exactly our temptation. To sit back, to do nothing, and to hope and pray that God will sort it all out. That seems ultimately unsatisfactory to me as well. And yet coming up, we have an opportunity in Lent to look to God, to look at the brokenness of our world, the sin and brokenness of our communities, our city, even our own hearts, and to ask how long, and also to look inside and ask what God will have us do. And so I want to invite you to get a kickstart on that. Lent doesn't begin until Ash Wednesday, which is in a few weeks yet. But what would your day look like if you took even just a few minutes, listened to God's word, listened to God in prayer, and wondered what He had to say to you and how you might live differently as a response? We've talked in past weeks about rhythms, and that's a rhythm that I find to be deeply profitable. Taking time to quiet my heart, open up God's word, or just listen to God in prayer and say, what is it that you want to say to me? What is it that you would have me do? I hope you have a good rest of your day, a good rest of your week, and I look forward to worshiping together this Sunday as we continue the series, Let's Climb.